see what everybody thought my race or ethnicity, etc. was. It came back Irish. I have not one bit of Irish in me, unless you count my husband, and that is just a little bit. I'm just kidding, I love you, he's the one working the bar. But actually, I'm Spanish. I know. And it gets better. I'm also Jewish. We did not build the pyramids. Yeah, it's a real mindfuck, isn't it? My stage name is actually Christie. It's my husband's last name. My last name is Barrogas. Yeah, and recently I was called out by a white woman, a Karen, who said I was just a Hispanic, or actually a white woman with a Hispanic last name. Come mierda! Get to foyer un pet! Is that Spanish enough for you, puta? So yeah, it's a real mindfuck looking the way that I do. And before the show, I also looked up the definition of race and ethnicity. It says that it is a social construct. Both have the same thing in the definitions on Google. And I agree with that because, especially in light of recent things that have happened, like Whoopi Goldberg's commentary on being a Jew, that Jews are not a race. All right, I can kind of see that. I mean, I'm a Spanish Jew, I'm super white, I look like Ed Sheeran with a vagina. But the KKK would not hesitate to burn a cross on my front yard. And getting back to Whoopi, there's one thing that I don't agree with, because stereotypically, Jews are thought of to look a certain way. So we are kind of a race-ish. Well, we're thought to have dark hair, dark eyes, big noses, that kind of thing. And Sarah Silverman recently piggybacked on that in her podcast and talked about how a lot of Jewish roles are going to non-Jewish actors. And they're putting on what's called Jew face. Prosthetic noses, Jewish accents, Brooklyn accents, putting on wigs. But isn't that just acting? I mean, don't get me wrong, I would have loved to play Mrs. Maisel. But let's be honest, a non-Jewish woman that's playing her looks a lot more Jewish than I do. You know, I'm kind of cursing myself for getting that nose job. Representation, it does matter. I agree with that in a whole. But, you know, I look like I represent Ed Sheeran with a vagina. And growing up, for me, was really hard. I was one of 2 Jewish families in my neighborhood. So when the Christian holidays rolled around, like Christmas, the big one, I was really lonely. I was really isolated. And I didn't understand at 7 or 8 years old why we didn't celebrate Christmas too. So I had a brilliant idea. We could pretend to celebrate Christmas. And I took this idea to my very Jewish parents, the ones that were sending me 3 days a week to Hebrew school to learn the Haftorah for my bat mitzvah. It did not go well. What are you talking about? I mean, it's lovely to celebrate others' holidays in their home. In our home, we celebrate Hanukkah. You get 7 days of presents, they only get 1. But Mom, it's really not about the presents. Maybe it is about the presents. I mean, my friends get, you know, Cabbage Patch Dolls, real Hershey's chocolates, and Ataris. I get gold coins that taste like wax. A shade doll that Grandma Ventura knitted me. And backgammon. Well, who do we think we are, the Rockefellers? See, I know who the Rockefellers are. But no, I wouldn't let it go with that. I kept persisting, and I was really good at whining, so I finally broke my parents down. All right, you can have Christmas, but you can't bring anything Goyisha into the house. Goyisha. For all you Harry Potter fans, it's kind of like a muggle. So, okay, I could work with that. Instead of a Christmas tree, I decorated a fern. I used stray needles, my father's yarmulke. Instead of stockings, I hung my mother's legs pantyhose on the wall. And, my father wouldn't let me bring a baby Jesus into the house. So for the nativity, I really had to get creative. For baby Jesus, I used Tenderheart Care Bear because he was the leader of the Care Bears. For the donkeys, I used my 3 little ponies. For the Virgin Mary, of course, Barbie, because she had no vagina. And the 3 wise men, who better to play them than my father's booze collection? Jack Daniels, Jose Cuervo, and Jim. There, my Christmas was complete. I was ready for the big day. Christmas morning comes and I run to the fern. There's nothing there but dead leaves. Oh, the stocking! I forgot the stocking! I run to the pantyhose nailed to the door. It was Florida. We didn't have a mantle. And I look. Just tucked under the control top portion was a note. It's an IOU from Santa. Ho, ho, ho! Dear Lord, you are my most favorite Jewish child. But unfortunately, I ran out of toys before getting to your house. So I told your parents to bring you to Kmart and buy you anything you wanted under $10. Your parents aren't Rockefellers. Love, Santa. P.S. Remember, being a Jewish child is wonderful. You are one of the chosen people. I still have not figured out what I've been chosen for. Maybe it's not getting a present over $10. My husband may not be Jewish, but he certainly lives up to the stereotype.